It's Chris Smith time. Oh, hello, everybody. It's me, Chris Smith, and in the background is Blackie Humphrey. And tonight we are filming our top 10 of 2025 movies. It's our annual Tops and Bottoms. This is the second part of the Tops because we did 20 through 11 the other day, and now we're going to do our top 10. And you know, this is the 12th annual Tops and Bottoms. A couple of weeks ago we aired our bottoms, and now we're going to do our top 10. And this originally aired, the very first Tops episode aired on the YNTA AY Minis, as we used to be known, on February 4th, 2015. So we've been doing this for over 10 years. Well, it's the 12th annual, so 12 years. Okay, so let's start on our top 10, shall we? At number 10 is Marty Supreme, starring Timothy Chalamet, who hates opera and ballet. But that's not what that movie is about. Marty Supreme is about Marty Mauser, a fictionalized version, I found out, of table tennis champion Marty Reisman. Isn't that fascinating? In the 1950s. And so this movie is basically the Forrest Gump of table tennis. Though Forrest Gump didn't he play table tennis as well? But yes, this is basically the misadventures of Marty as he goes around the world and has. You'll have to forgive Blackie if you hear him in the background. He's enjoying himself. Yes, much like Marty, who enjoyed himself playing table tennis. Gwyneth Paltrow co-starred in this film, which it's always delightful to see her. And Fran Drescher played his mother. Now, this movie was nominated for 9 Academy Awards. And we're going to find out on the 98th Annual Academy Awards if it wins for Timothy Chalamet for Best Actor, and including a nomination for Best Picture. So by the time this airs on Oscar Day, or if you watch it before the Oscars, you won't know. But if you watch this episode of mine after Oscar Sunday, then you'll already know who wins. I can't imagine that Marty Supreme will be winning, but it did land in number 10 for me. Okay. At number 9 is Wicked for Good. This is the second part of the Wicked film based on the musical Wicked, based on the book Wicked by Gregory Maguire. Now, Wicked for Good is again directed by John M. Chu. What's interesting is, I mean, even though Wicked for Good did very well at the box office, it wasn't like part 1 of Wicked, where everybody was just obsessed and you have been changed. They had all these different poster designs, which I think is fun to mix it up. But yeah, nobody really talked about it a lot in my circle. I like this one, sort of. The chasm between Elphaba and Glinda. And I don't know if people went back to part 2 as much as they did when Wicked came out last year, which, you know, was basically the first act of the musical Wicked, and this is Act 2, which is darker and not as peppy and fun as the first act, of course. So, you know, this is to be expected. And it didn't get any Oscar nominations, not a lot of awards love, but, you know, it was still successful, and I think it'll be fun over the years to see how Wicked the movie and Wicked for Good hold up. They'll probably release them as one big part. Can you imagine? That would be epic. So yes, I enjoyed it enough to drop in at number 9. Okay, at number 8. Oh, my papers are flying everywhere. At number 8 is a little movie called Blue Moon, which I hadn't heard about until recently. It stars Ethan Hawke as Lorenz Hart, the famous composer who reflects on his life on the night of the opening of Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma, as you know, is written by Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein II. And Richard Rodgers and Lorenz Hart had been a songwriting duo. And then when that broke up, of course, Rodgers went with Hammerstein, and poor Lorenz Hart was left alone in a bar to think about his life and his career. And but I thought Blue Moon was fascinating. It also stars Margaret Qualley as a young woman that Lorenz Hart is fascinated with. It's based on a true story, of course, based on the letters between Lorenz Hart and this woman. And Bobby Cannavale co-stars in it. And it's nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor for Ethan Hawke and Best Original Screenplay. So, bravo to Blue Moon. If you're a theater lover, I think you'll really enjoy this film. It's a part of theater history. Okay. At number 7. Now, this was a very good year for dog movies because in my last part 1 of my tops, Caramello, about a dog that's a little wild and befriends a chef, was in my tops. And now in the top 10, here is The Friend at number 7. Now, The Friend stars Naomi Watts and Bill Murray, and it is about Iris, a writer and professor in Manhattan, who is dealing with her friend and mentor's suicide. The friend is played by Bill Murray, and she is very sad about his passing, and so is his Great Dane, Apollo. And this poor dog is in such mourning for his owner. I don't know why anyone would kill themselves when they have a dog. You must reconsider, because you must think of your child. Look at Blackie. He is so funny. He's still in the spotlight from The Friend. But yes, this was a charming movie, and this dog just goes wild and tears her apartment just to pieces, and because she takes him in, and it's like the last piece of her friend that she has left. And then she and Apollo change each other's lives just the way Caramello and the chef changed each other's lives in that film. Okay, so I recommend The Friend. Okay, at number 6 is, this was such a charming movie. It's called A Nice Indian Boy, and it features Jonathan Groff in it. Now, Jonathan Groff, pictured here, is a nice white boy who was raised by, he was in the foster care system and was adopted by Indian immigrant parents. They've since died when this film is, in the story of this film. And he meets, and there's this, I'm really butchering this one. Don't listen to this if you want to go see Nice Indian Boy. But yes, so it's about this nice Indian boy named Naveen who meets, and he's a doctor, and he meets this white man, Jay, played by Jonathan Groff, and they start dating. But what will Naveen's family think about the fact that their son is dating a white man, even though he was raised by Indian parents and knows all of the traditions and is practicing, of course. Oh, what? I'm trying to get Blackie Humphrey to appear in this episode, but he's otherwise engaged. But it's just such a beautiful story, and I love this poster. It's just so funny. But this came out early in the year, and I just fell in love with it. It says, first comes love, then comes chaos. But yes, meeting the family and all that, it is very nerve-wracking. This is why I don't date. I've never believed in it. Okay. Yes, I recommend you go see the... Oh, Blackie Humphrey, dear goodness. I won't even show you what's going on back there, friends. Okay. At number 5, this is another movie I saw early in the year, and I just fell in love with it. Oh, I'm sorry. He's in pain. He did too much. This movie is The Life of Chuck, and it is at number 5. Now, The Life of Chuck is based on a novella by Stephen King, and it's written and directed by Mike Flanagan, who brought us other Stephen King stories to the screen, including Gerald's Game and Dr. Sleep, which was the sequel to The Shining, which I really loved. So this follows the life of Charles Chuck Krantz in reverse chronological order, from his death, spoiler alert, no, it's at the beginning of the movie, to the end of which is tied to the end of the universe, spoiler alert, and all the way back to his childhood. Now, this movie was just, I didn't know anything about it. I hadn't read the novella. I hadn't really heard of it. We worked on it at my workplace, so I'd heard the title, The Life of Chuck, for a while. But I didn't really know what it was about. And I thought it was just magical. And I love end of the world stuff. So at the beginning, everything is breaking down. The internet has stopped working. People have just stopped going to work. Big sinkholes are forming everywhere. All sorts of crazy things are happening. Power is going out everywhere. And what I loved is that people would just stop going to work. Dream come true. Oh, hold on. My dinner timer is going off. Okay, I'm back. I turned off the oven. Yes, so The Life of Chuck, I just found it to be a beautiful film. Now, it stars Tom Hiddleston, and Jacob Tremblay is in it. They both play Chuck at different points of Chuck's life. And Mark Hamill plays Chuck's grandfather, Mark Hamill of Star Wars fame. Nick Offerman of Parks and Recreation is the narrator of the movie. If you haven't seen Life of Chuck, give it a try. I can't say enough about it. I thought it was fascinating. Life of Chuck. Okay. Now we're up to number 4. Wow, we've entered the top 5. This is exciting. Okay. It is the most Oscar-nominated movie ever, Sinners. Go get some water, my darling. Go get some water. Now, Sinners is basically about 2 brothers, identical twin brothers, who are opening a juke joint. Yes. To me, it reminded me of In the Color Purple when they opened the juke joint, and it reminded me of From Dusk Till Dawn, that vampire movie. So I said, it's The Color Purple's juke joint meets From Dusk Till Dawn's vampire bar, The Titty Twister. That's what it was called. Remember The Titty Twister in From Dusk Till Dawn, starring George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino as brothers, and they end up in this bar, and vampires are there, and the whole thing goes to hell. And basically, believe it or not, Sinners is not only a 1930s period piece, which deals with racism, the Klan, vampires. It's got it all. It's from Ryan Coogler, who brought us Creed and Black Panther. He wrote and directed this movie, and he sort of made a little bit of a not a name for himself, but sort of broke a little history because he just did the film his way, and there were stories early on that about how he just was going to make this movie the way he wanted to make it, and look how it paid off. This was a huge hit at the box office. Now, I have some friends that think it's a little overrated. The good thing for me was I saw Sinners when it was brand new in the theaters, so all that hype hadn't built up about it, so I didn't know very much about it. I love Michael B. Jordan. You know, Michael B. Jordan, who's nominated, well, almost everybody's nominated in this movie. 16 nominations. Michael B. Jordan, if you don't know, was on All My Children, the daytime soap opera, for like 3 years. He played Reggie, and I watched it back then, and when he came on, I was like, my goodness, this character is very different. And he was in Erica Kane's family because he was her husband, Jackson Montgomery, took in Reggie, and I believe he adopted him. But such a good actor, and they say he is such a nice person. Now, what else do I... Now, it's set in 1932, Mississippi. And Michael B. Jordan stars as Elijah Smoke Morrow and Elias Stack Moore. I couldn't read my writing. Elijah Smoke Moore and Elias Stack Moore. Isn't that cute? So the twins are called Smoke and Stack. And they want to open the juke joint, and of course, all sorts of craziness ensues, not only with the racist townspeople and the Klansmen, but of course the vampires. And then when you have Klansmen who are turning into vampires, it's extra deadly. But yes, I really enjoyed Sinners enough to drop it into the number 4 slot. Now, here's one that I expected to like, and it was going to be my Christmas movie, and it did not disappoint. It is Song Sung Blue. Now, Song Sung Blue stars Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson, and it's based on a true story. It's also based on a 2008 documentary, which I also saw the documentary recently. And it is about a Milwaukee-based husband and wife named Mike and Claire Sardina. It's either Sardina or Sardino. Sardina, I believe. They're a real-life husband and wife, and they performed in the Neil Diamond tribute as the Neil Diamond tribute duo, Lightning and Thunder. Hugh Jackman plays Lightning, and Kate Hudson plays Thunder. And he actually did have little lightning bolts on his teeth, and in real life Mike did as well, because his manager was also his dentist, so he was able to put little lightning bolts on his teeth. So this film starts like in 1987, a very good year, and It follows their relationship. They meet at a state fair. They were aware of each other apparently, but she was a Patsy Cline impersonator, and he did impersonations. And then he takes his love of Neil Diamond music, and they turn it into a tribute band, an experience, she says. And it is it's filled with love and music, heartache and tragedy. Something so tragic happens in it. If you haven't seen it, you will be shocked in the middle of this movie. It is charming, and it pulls at your heartstrings. And Kate Hudson is nominated for Best Actress at the Academy Awards. So I'm certainly pulling for her. Now, at number 2. For a long time, this was my number 1 during the year. And it is Weapons at number 2. Now, this came out in August, and it's from the director of Barbarian, which came out a few years ago. Barbarian was directed and written by Zach Cregger. 2022 is when Barbarian came out, and it's a really scary movie. And this one is also written by Zach Cregger. On this little poster thing, it says, "Last night at 2:17 a.m., every child from Mrs. Grandy's class woke up, got out of bed, went downstairs, opened the front door, walked into the dark, and they never came back." And yes, that does happen in this movie. It is frightening. And this is one of those movies I didn't know anything about it, except, that creepy trailer with children running out into the night, into the darkness. And it's fun to go into this movie just blind and not knowing what's going to happen. So the teacher is Justine Grady. It's her 3rd grade classroom, and only one little boy, Alex, does not disappear from his home. And wait till you find out why. But it stars Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, and from Days of Our Lives, little Carrie Christopher plays Alex, and he is amazing. And he played Thomas DeMira on Days of Our Lives, Chad and Abigail's son. For years, he just recently left the show, and now he's making movies. So good for him. But the surprise of the whole movie is none other than Amy Madigan's performance as Aunt Gladys. Now, Aunt Gladys is a character that, I can't even say too much about her, because she is part of the secret of the whole movie. So if you haven't seen Weapons, see it. At Halloween this past year, there were at least a couple of Aunt Gladyses running around my workplace, and the gays love Aunt Gladys. Now, I don't know why, because she is evil, but she's going to be featured in a prequel, an Aunt Gladys prequel, so that's exciting. And Amy Madigan is nominated for Best Supporting Actress at the Academy Awards, so we'll know tomorrow night. Okay, and now for my number 1 movie of the year. It is none other than Merrily We Roll Along. Shall we pull out the poster? Here's the poster, which I had hanging in my living room for a while. It's a good year for Jonathan Groff, because he's in it. Daniel Radcliffe is in it, and Lindsay Mendez. Now, Merrily We Roll Along, was a hit Broadway show, at least recently. It started out in 1981. It was a musical based on an old play, Merrily We Roll Along. And in 1981, this was one of the biggest bombs of Broadway history. And it was so shocking, too, because it has such beautiful music. And it's from Stephen Sondheim, book by George Firth, and it was directed by Hal Prince. And how could you lose? How could it go wrong? It starts in 1976, the story, and it goes backwards to 1957. So it's sort of like Life of Chuck also does this going backwards thing. So it's about three best friends, Franklin Shepard, Charlie Kringus, and Mary Flynn. Now, I just love Merrily We Roll Along. I've always liked it. And over the years, people tried to fix it, and they were always tinkering with Merrily. And finally, around 2012, Maria Friedman, who was a good friend of Stephen Sondheim and had played Mary in a production at some point of Merrily We Roll Along, and she directed a version in the West End, and then she had Stephen Sondheim's blessing, and she had really found a way to sort of fix some of the things. In the original, they were played by teenagers, and in the revival, it's adults playing adults. So it's better to have adults play adults and not teenagers playing them, or young people in their 20s. But so this movie isn't just a filmed on the stage thing, though it is filmed on the stage, but the audience isn't seen, and it uses lots of close-ups. So Maria filmed this. So it was 2022 off-Broadway show, moved to Broadway 2023, closed in the summer of 2024, and they also had filmed it, but Maria filmed it like a film, so there's lots of close-ups, and the set is used as it's a film set, not as a stage. So you never see the full stage like you would say Come From Away being filmed or something like that. But it is beautiful. And of course, the Broadway production, the revival, got 7 Tony nominations, 4 wins, including Best Revival. And so they released this in December in movie theaters, and it was my favorite movie experience of the year. So yes, friends, Merrily We Roll Along is my favorite movie, my top of the tops of 2025. Okay, and it's about to come out on Blu-ray. So do check it out. And that is all for the tops of 2025. I'll see you the next time that it's Christmas time.